I'm feeling like right now we stand at a crossroads where decades of dreaming about autonomous mobility meet the gritty reality of putting cars on the road. I remember the earliest days, sketching the idea of a shared fleet of self-driving cars that could roam cities delivering rides, imagining a world where you call a car and it shows up without a driver, where owning a car becomes optional, where traffic and congestion turn into managed flows, and parking becomes almost irrelevant. We built the software, we tested, we iterated, we pushed the limits of what cameras and neural networks could do so that one day a car could navigate city streets with minimal human intervention. I knew it wouldn't happen overnight, but every mile, every line of code, every test drive brought us closer. In June, we launched the first version of our paid Robotaxi service in Austin. Just a pilot, modest in size, with safety monitors riding in the front seat, a cautious first step. I knew the world would watch. I also knew demand would come. People in Austin would see a glimpse of the future and want in. And that demand showed up. Requests piling up, high service demand warnings, people waiting longer than we wanted, feeling the limitations of a small fleet trying to serve many. So I thought, we need to scale up. We need to meet the demand. We need to show that the Robotaxi dream is not just a vision, but something real, tangible. That's why I announced publicly that next month we will roughly double the size of the Robotaxi fleet in Austin. We are committing to expansion. We don't yet say exactly how many cars that will be, but our internal estimates suggest doubling from the existing pool. We may go from a few dozen to perhaps around 60 vehicles, more coverage, more availability, fewer wait times. We're not done. We're not satisfied. Because this isn't only about adding cars. It's about building confidence, collecting miles, refining software, gathering data, learning. Every ride is a data point. Every street navigated builds toward full autonomy. And make no mistake, the goal remains to remove the safety monitors to launch true self-driving, not supervised, across much of Austin by the end of this year. That's the ambition. That's what we're pushing for, because in the end, I believe we can and must transform transportation. We can give people mobility on demand. We can cut down the friction of commuting, the inefficiency of car ownership, the wasted time and emissions. We can shape a future where cars serve people, not the other way around. So, we're scaling up in Austin, doubling the fleet, learning more, driving toward autonomy. And I can't wait until we look back and say, that was the moment citywide robotaxi fleets became the norm, not the exception. And as we move into this next phase, I keep thinking about how many people still underestimate the compounding effect of progress. Because when you double a fleet, you don't just increase capacity, you also accelerate the rate at which the system learns, and that's the real engine behind autonomy. The feedback loop that tightens every single day, every single mile, and honestly, that's the part that excites me the most. Watching the neural nets get sharper, smarter, faster, watching edge cases turn into solved cases, seeing the software make decisions that even a human driver would hesitate on. And that's when you realize we're not just adding cars to Austin. We're training a brain that will eventually navigate the entire world. And yes, it's ambitious. Yes, people doubt. But people doubted reusable rockets too. And now they land themselves like it's nothing. And I think back to the first time I said Tesla would build a fully self-driving system, and everyone treated it like science fiction. But science fiction becomes reality, one iteration at a time, one breakthrough at a time, one stubborn refusal to quit at a time. And right now in Austin, we're testing the scalable model of the future, the city-level operating system for transportation, where fleets of electric autonomous vehicles operate continuously, efficiently, predictably, and eventually with no human safety operator at all. And imagine what that means for a college kid heading home after a late shift, or a family who needs a low-cost ride to the airport, or someone who simply doesn't want to own a car. Imagine a world where mobility is as reliable and seamless as electricity or the internet, where you tap your phone and a vehicle appears within minutes, powered by clean energy, learning every moment it drives. And that's why doubling the fleet is not just logistics, it's momentum. It's the signal to accelerate everything: manufacturing, software development, regulatory engagement, because when the numbers scale, the entire system scales with it. And I keep telling the team this is the start of something that will look obvious in hindsight, but feels bold right now. And that's exactly the zone where the best breakthroughs happen, right at the edge of possible. And Austin is our proving ground, and the place where we show the world what autonomy looks like when it stops being a demo and starts being infrastructure. And once the city sees the new fleet rollout next month, I think people will begin to understand the trajectory we're on. Because this isn't just a feature, it's a revolution in slow motion, speeding up every day. And doubling the fleet is the moment where the slow motion ends and real acceleration begins. And what people don't always see is the sheer amount of engineering that goes into saying to each step we take. Because doubling a robotaxi fleet isn't like ordering more cars from a warehouse. It's an entire synchronization of hardware readiness, software maturity, charging infrastructure, routing systems, fleet management algorithms, and every one of those pieces has to scale in harmony or the whole thing stumbles. And I keep reminding everyone that Tesla doesn't just build cars. We build ecosystems, vertically integrated from the battery minerals all the way up to the user, tapping a ride request on their phone. And that's why Austin matters so much. It's the first place where the entire Tesla stack operates like a living organism, learning, adapting, improving. And when I walk through the development labs or the Gigafactory floor, I can actually feel the momentum, like this hum in the air that tells you something big is about to break open. And honestly, that feeling reminds me of the early Falcon 9 days when we were trying to stick that first landing and everyone said it was impossible, until suddenly it wasn't. And that's where autonomy is right now. On the edge of tipping from almost there to obviously this works. And once a technology hits that threshold, it accelerates faster than anyone predicts because adoption becomes exponential. And the Austin fleet is our catalyst for that exponential curve, giving us data at a pace we've never had before, and letting us stress test the system under real-world, messy human conditions. And I love that messiness because autonomy has to learn from chaos, from unpredictability, from the stuff no simulation can perfectly recreate. And that's why every mile in Austin is worth 10 miles anywhere else. The city throws curveballs all day long, and our AI learns to catch them. And when I think about where this is heading, I see a moment not far from now, when the idea of manually driving everywhere will feel as outdated as using a flip phone. And I can already picture people in other cities saying, "How does Austin have this and we don't?" And that pressure, that curiosity, that excitement will push us to expand faster, to bring the Robotaxi network to more cities and eventually to make it global. Because the endgame isn't a bigger fleet in Austin, it's a worldwide autonomous transportation layer that makes mobility safer, cleaner, cheaper, and smarter, and doubling the fleet next month is just one move on a long trajectory. But it's a meaningful one. The kind that signals we're not testing a concept anymore. We're building a future that everyone will experience whether they realize it yet